come through a process that is called the judge. So the judge, someone recognizes that this child is living in an abusive way. Someone makes this call, and the people from the government or of our city, they go to this house, and if they recognize that this is true, so they take this child away and they bring to us. So most of the times, the majority of the kids that come here, they don't know what's going on. They have no idea why they are here and why they were taken away from their school with no chance to say goodbye or with no chance to just pack their belongings. And when they come here, they are scared, they're afraid, they think we are cops, they think we are bad guys, and they're crying a lot. So it's a heartbreaking to see that how this process happens, and it is very painful for them because most of the children, they don't recognize that they're being abusive because they've lived in this situation all their lives. They've lived wandering on the streets, eating from the trash, not attending to school, not being able to take a shower because there's no bathroom in your house. They share a shack, one-bedroom shack with 12 brothers and sisters and the stepfather and the mom. So this is their reality. They think that's normal. And I'm going to give you a scenario of the most cases of abuse we have. So we have this mom, and she has 10 children of different fathers. Okay? And this mom lives in a shack with her 10 children. And then another man comes. And this man is supposed to be the mom's boyfriend. She takes this man to live with her in her house with her children and to share the same bedroom that she shared with her 10 children. But she doesn't know this man very well. But she needs him because he is helping her financially. So she's feeding her kids with the money that this man is providing. So this man, he does drugs, he sells drugs for money, whatever. But this woman, she decides, out of a desperate moment, she decides to take this man in. But this man is not interested on her only, but he's interested on her kids. So the abuse that happens in the room, in the presence of a mother, in the presence of all the brothers and sisters. So this man starts to sexually abusing the boys, the girls. We have cases of a boy who was 4 being sexually abused. So this is the reality of many families in Brazil. Okay. Another case that we have is a little boy. His name is Aitor. He was born in Spain, and he was born out of a prostitution industry. Her mom was in the prostitution industry, and that's how he was born. He lived until he was 7 in Spain, and then his mom, she took him to Brazil, and she came back to Brazil, and she said, Aitor, stay here in this park. I'm gonna go get you an ice cream, and I'll be right back. And it was his birthday. So it was his birthday, and his mom came back. So he wandered on the streets for 3 days until someone was able to find him, and he said, I don't know. My mom said she would come back, but she never came back. We don't know about her since then. It's been 3 years. We tried to find her. The police tried to find her, but we just don't know where she is. Some people say that she had a disease. Some people say that a lot of stories. But we have this boy who's living with us. He's smart, bright, lovely kid, but he just don't know why he was abandoned. And most of our kids, they don't know why, and it's a very hard work it's a very deep process to work with them, to make them believe that it's not their fault. We have kids that they were abused, they were being spanked, they were being burned by iron, cigarettes. We have kids that were being tortured, living on a bedroom for 5 days without food. and the only thing that they had to eat was dog food. And we have kids like this in this situation. And when you go talk to them, at first they say, "But Diane, I did something wrong. I deserved it." So they think that they deserve to be treated like that. They think that that's an okay punishment for a child. So it's a slow process to give them back who they are, to make them believe that they are not what everybody was told them that they were. So we have a case of a young girl. Her name is Ellie. She came here when she was 14. When she was 12, her mom was into the prostitution. When she was 12, the customers of her mom didn't want the mom anymore, but they want the girl. So this mom started to bring imams into her house to sell her daughter's body. But her daughter refused it until she couldn't handle it anymore, and she reached a desperate moment that she tried to commit suicide. So she cut her wrists, she cut muscles, veins. It was very, very deep because she wanted to die. She didn't want to be alive. She was taken to the hospitals. Thank God they were able to fix her hands, but they told her you're going to lose the movements of her hands. But she didn't. She was able to get back her movements. She's able to write. She's able to work and to play. And 3 years later, we have this girl. She's beautiful. You might have seen her, but you didn't know that she's been through this. But now you do. Her name is Ellen, and she has hope for the future. And she says that I would be dead if it wasn't for hope. And now the only reason I have an opportunity to laugh again and to dream again. She wants to be a teacher. It's because of our job, it's because of our work. So when we see that this teenager is able to recognize what happened to them in the past and understand that whatever might happen to them, it's not going to be with them forever. But sometime and someday, it will be a memory, but not a very painful memory, because they are healed. Because there is a chance for them to be completely healed. That's when we feel that we did our job. But when we sit them down, and every time that they have to remember and tell us what happened, if they remember with lots of pain and lots of pity, then it looks like that we still need to work more with this child. So we believe in recovery, in full recovery. We believe that these kids, they do have a chance to forgive their aggressors. In fact, we have this boy, his name is Welcome. He's now 16 years old, and from the age of 12 to 14, he was very bad tortured by his father. So his father would just lock him in a bed for days, and no access to the bathroom, no access to food, to water, or anything, like an animal. But 3 years later, he's able to talk to me and to say, Diane, I don't hate my father. I said, you don't? Why you don't hate your father? And he's able to say, because I need to forgive him. If I want to move on with my life, I need to forgive him. And he has forgiven him, and this is the only way that he's able to move on with his life and to be a better father and to break the cycle of abuse and abandonment. I get very emotional when I talk about these kids, but what keeps us going is that it's the results of what we do. These things cannot stop us from doing what we do, because I believe that not everyone is willing to deal with the situations. Not everyone is willing to give everything up to leave for these kids, because this is what we do. This is what everyone in this organization do. And I believe that if we are here for a purpose. We are here with a calling, and many kids are being able to have normal lives because of this project. So we are not going to stop, no matter what we face. And we've been facing many challenges all through these years, financially, all types of challenges. But we truly believe, not in religious, but we truly believe that there's something more that takes care of this place. We do believe that these kids, they cannot be healed alone through psychology, through therapy. We believe that there's something else that they need. So we believe that they need hope and they need faith, that they need to believe that they can be healed from all these traumas. And this is what we do. It's not an easy job. Sometimes we want to give up. Sometimes it's too much. It's too heavy. Sometimes you don't have time for yourself. You don't have time for anything, and you feel, I can't do it. But we're able to find strength in God. No matter what religious you are, I'm telling you that we find our strength in God, because we believe that He is above everything else, and He's above this place. But when we see that when this child succeed, when we see them later on, 4 or 5 years later, they come to you and they say, look, I have a girlfriend. Look, I have a husband. Look, I have a job. I have a son and I have a daughter. And they're full of hope. This is what keeps us going. It's what it pays us off. Everything all the sacrifices that we do. And to be honest with you, I have hard times, but I have most of good times, because you see, you were able to play with them. You see how pure they are, and you have no idea what they've been through because it doesn't show. And it just doesn't show. But when you look at them, you're able to see, you're able to think, wow, I can't believe that this child been through all this. I have no idea. I came from a broken family. I myself came from a broken family. I had no presence of a mom. She tried to abort me when I was a baby. But I was able to have a father who was there for me, who was able to be a mom and a dad for me. And because of this, I think I can relate to them well. And just don't think that because you haven't been through something close to this, that we haven't experienced a family lack, a lack of a father presence, a lack of a mom presence. And that's very important for us to be able to recognize when that happens, and to be able to work on that, to be able to keep moving. Do you have any questions? I know this is a very overwhelming moment. It takes time to sing everything. But don't, this is what I don't want. And I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't want you to listen to all of this and to go on with your life and to go back to reality and to forget about these kids. Even if you think there's, what can I do then? What can I do to help? You can think of them. You can send good positives. You can pray for them. You can talk about them. You can use the stories to share with your friends and to maybe impact other people's lives. Because many of us, we don't have the opportunity to leave our comfort zone, to leave our reality, to leave our house, to be able to see what's around us. We just don't know. Sometimes we don't know that these things happen because no one told us. But once you know, now you know, you have the responsibility to do something about it. Either it's telling people about them, sharing what you feel, the goosebumps that you feel, sharing this. Don't let anything that happens to them be in vain. But share their stories. Help me. I need your help. This is the first thing that they get once they come here. I would like to pass for you to open it. When they come here, they don't have any belongings. Some of them never had a towel of their own, shampoo, a toothbrush. So this is the first thing that we give to them. It's a welcome kit. comes with this personal items, towels, soaps to wash, to take a bath, and all. The most important thing about this kit, it's can you take the stuffed animal on there? Yeah, we give them a little stuffed animal just to remind them that they are kids, to remind them that it's okay to play, it's okay to act as a child. Some of them, they have a full responsibility to take care of their brothers. So we have kids that were 12, they were selling candies on the streets to bring food to their little brothers because their mom was, they had no mom or no father presence. So just to remind them that they're kids, it's okay to play, it's okay to be a child. And also we have a photo album for them, and we believe it's important for them to be able to build a new story through memories, good memories. Because the good memories is what keeps us going. When we're old, no matter what job we have, no matter how much money we have, or the size of our houses, and when we're older, the only thing that we'll truly remember are the memories and are the lives that we impact. So that's the little welcome kit that they get when they come here first.
How often do you guys get new kids?
Well, it depends. Sometimes we get once a month. Sometimes we get 4 at a time. A group of siblings. So it all depends.
Do you have a lot of siblings living here?
Yes. We do.
But they don't live in the same dorm or the same house?
No, they don't. They live in separate houses. But they're able to get together for courses, school, playing.
Do kids ever just come to the camp without having the whole judge you or something like this? Did they ever just take it upon themselves?
We've had cases of kids knocking at our gate saying that I heard that this is a good place and I would like to come and to stay with you. So yes, we have. We are able to take them as long as we need to talk, to go through the judge, we need to go through the laws to see if that child really needs to stay sheltered. But the shelter is the last option. First, they try to work with the family. First, they try to see what is possible to be done in the family. Then they will send this child to shelter. Do you have any more questions?
The boy we were talking about, Ita, I think, did he know Portuguese when he got here, or was he just...
He knew Spanish.
Just
But he knew Portuguese from his mom, a little bit of Portuguese. Now he's in school.
The students are there in roughly at the moment?
Well, right, because we are reducing our size, we are going to do this change. So, 3 months ago, we had about 110 students leaving on campus. But we are breaking this number into houses outside of our campus. So right now we have 4 houses outside of campus with 12 kids each. And on campus, we have about 74 children on our campus.
I went to the website before coming here, and it seemed like you had a different facility for older kids. Is that true?
Older
Talking
kids?
about
Yeah.
We have 2 facilities that are sheltered. We have interns. So we have this one in Campinas and we have another one up in south. What is this?
so
Up in
that's southeast.
That's called Hope Mountain. But we take every age there too, so I'm not sure.
We separate them by houses. The older ones, they stay in different houses. Just because of the maturity level.
Where is most of your funding?
Donation. And it comes, most of it from US. That's the reason we had to do this change, because we couldn't keep up with the expenses.
That's a big amount of stress, I imagine, that's going on.
Yes, yes, it was scary, you know,
Yeah.
bringing the girls here to live in this condition in the school, bringing the staff, bringing the social parents. It was tough. It was very scary. We didn't know how it was going to be. We didn't know how the boys would be able to interact with the girls and how that would be. But we trust that there's a reason for all of this, and so far it's been good. I invited Sidney. He's a coordinator of the residential area. He has this amazing story of life. And I invited him to, he's a youth pastor as well. I invited him to talk to us and to say whatever it's in his heart.
First of all, I would like to thank you guys for coming to Brazil and to hang out with us and watching you guys. You guys are doing great. We receive a lot of people here. We receive a lot of guests, and a lot of them, they look at our kids like, and they don't engage with our kids. So I love when we receive teams, when they engage, when they talk, when they embrace, when they smile, when they play soccer, when they swim. It's like crazy with the kids. And our kids, they're a special group of kids. They love people that are outgoing. They love people that seem to be crazy. You know, they're just attracted to craziness, you know? And so I love teams that are just, you know, they're just ready to do anything. So I want to say thank you for investing in the girls and the boys' life. And sometimes it's very boring to receive people that don't know how to engage with them. And I can see that you guys do. You guys, just yesterday, just watching you guys, I was just watching. You guys were there in the swimming pool, and after just playing soccer, just hanging out, playing, giving high five. And I don't know about you, but I know that helps a lot. You're bringing joy, you're bringing something special to this place, and you're making a difference in these girls and these boys' lives. Why am I saying that? First, because I believe you as a young person, just like me, we can make a difference. My wife couldn't be here. She's working right now. She's also crazy. She's all everywhere. And her name is Elihuama. It means the favor of the Lord is upon me. She was born in Brazil, but she grew up in Mozambique, Africa. And you guys are gonna get to hear a little bit of how I met her. I went to Africa to get my African queen. Alright? So I was a smart guy. I had to go all the way to Africa to get my wife. So it was awesome. Why am I saying that you guys can make a difference? Not just our kids, but in the world. United States. I lived in the United States for 4 years. It's just an incredible place. Of course, it has some things that I didn't agree with, but most of the things is like incredible. You guys have so many opportunities, and you guys have just some great things in front of you that if you really put your head into, if you really focus, if you really choose to do the right thing, you guys can make a difference, not just in the United States, but outside the United States. And I already can see that you guys want to do that because you guys are in Brazil. So you guys chose to leave your country, leave your comfort zone, leave your family, your friends, all your fun stuff, and you guys decided to come to Brazil to spend time with our kids and also to get to know Brazil, get to know the people, the culture, the language. So I give you a high five for that. Great job. And it's not a lot of people from the US. I remember that. It's not a lot of people that are courageous to say, hey, I'm out of the US. At least for 15 days. I remember a lot of people like, Brazil? Brazil? I don't want to go to Brazil. You know, they didn't know how Brazil would be like, right? But Brazil, it's a great place. I love this country, and thank you for investing in our country, all right? Why do I love this place? Why do I love Hope Unlimited? Why do I love this shelter? Why do I love working with these kids? Not every day, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't love to be here every day. Some days I just wanna be out of here. But most of the days, I love this place. I love what I do. My wife, she loves this place. And if you see her, she's always joyful, most of the time. And she's joyful to be in this place. We love these kids. We love the people that we work with. Why? Because I grew up in extreme poor place here in Brazil. This is an extreme poverty. I grew up in the slum, what we call the ghetto. So I grew up with 3 brothers and 2 sisters. And also with an alcoholic father. My father used to beat up with my mom almost every single day. I remember he would get home drunk And here in Brazil, they sell ice cream in the carts. I don't know if you have seen a cart with 2 wheels, and they go around the streets in Brazil just saying, ice cream, ice cream. And you go there and you buy ice cream, right? And most people that work like that, they make like $4 or $5 per day. That's not a lot of money. But you're able to buy rice and beans. You're able to sustain your family every day if you bring that money home. My father, no, he would spend that money in the bar, playing pool and table. He would spend on drugs and alcohol. And he would arrive home like really late in the night without no money. And he would be like, my father grew up on the streets. So he had no love, he had no family. So he didn't know how to give love to my family. He didn't know how to take care of my family. So he would get drunk, he would beat my mom out. Sometimes he would throw her on the ground, sometimes he would smash her in the wall, and then he would hit her with his fist. Many times her eyes would be big and purple. And I remember the screams of my mom. I remember growing up with the screams of my mom. My mom is a believer, she's a Christian, and I remember her every day she would pray to a God that I hated. I hated this God. I was like, I don't believe no God, I don't believe in nobody, because my mom prays, but nothing happens in my house. No change happens in my house. So I hate God, I hate life, I hate my father. And when I grow up, I'm gonna kill my father. That was my biggest dream. When I grow up, I'm gonna kill my father. My oldest brother, his name is Daniel. He left home when he was 7 years old to never come back. He lived on the streets for 14 years, then he went to jail for 3 years for selling drugs. My second oldest brother, his name is Marildo. He left home when he was 5 years old. He never came back. The last time I saw him, it was 11 years ago, almost 12 years ago, and he was HIV positive. He was in the world of homosexuality, and then he looked in the eyes of my mom and he told, I ain't coming back home. You can forget about me. I don't want to see anybody anymore from my family. I don't want to take no medicine. After that, we have never received no emails, no phone calls, no nothing from him. So we don't know if he's alive or if he's dead. I was the third one. I was starting, getting older. When I was 7 years old, my father looked at me and said, "You're the man of this house now. You gotta work now. So you gotta sell ice cream. You gotta shine shoes, because here in Brazil, you get a box and just shine shoes. And I sell pastries like candies and things like that." So he told me, you gotta go to the streets and sell things on the streets. Here in Brazil, we have 2 types of street kids. Working street kids and street kids that live on the streets. They don't go back to their house. So I became a working street kids. You see them on the streets here. When the traffic light stops, you see them doing crazy things, and then after that they ask for money. They sell candies, but in the night they go back at home. Those are called working street children. Working street children. We have thousands of them here in Brazil. Rio de Janeiro, Recife, São Paulo, Belo Horizonte. And I became one of them. From 7 to 11, I started working on the streets. But I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. First I went to paint thinner. Do you guys know what paint thinner is? So what removes the paint from the wall? Here in Brazil, street kids, they sniff that. So I started sniffing that. After that I went to glue. Glue from shoes and things like that. So here in Brazil, the street kids, they sniff glue. And after that, I started using a lot. You mix paint thinner with glue, and then you really go crazy. After that, I went to marijuana, and after that, I stopped doing crack. And my father, almost every single day when I would get home, he would beat me up. The last time he touched me, I was 11 years old. I arrived home, I was like crazy, right? And he put me in the wall, he started hitting me. And I fell on the ground. And he had no mercy. He stepped on my neck and he kept hitting. And when I fainted, when I came back, I remember my mom was cleaning my face with a towel, and she was crying, praying. And I got so mad. I got so stinking mad. I was like, my mom is praying over me. She's praying for my family. I'm out of here. I'm gonna live just like my brothers did. And I grabbed my stuff. 5:30, 5:15 in the morning, I ran away from home. I went to live on the streets of Brazil, in the 3rd largest city of Brazil called Belo Horizonte, Beautiful Horizon. It's the 3rd largest city, about 6 million people that we have in this city. And on the streets, you do everything. You learn how to survive. First thing that I started learning, I had a father, they call it the father. Just an older kid, he's like 16, 17, and they teach you how to steal. So you sit and just start watching people pass by. That lady, it's easy to steal. That one, no, she looks like she can fight. That one is an old lady. I think I can steal her. You just learn those things. That guy, he looks like a weak guy. You just learn how those things, and you have a father that teaches you. He just sits there and just teaches you. This is how you pickpocket. This is how you grab him. This is how, if you want to steal, these are the streets that you want to go to. So he taught me everything. The best time to steal, who is the best person to steal. So I learned all the tricks from the street. And I thought I was like a bad gangster. I dyed my hair yellow because the street kids in Brazil, they dye their hair with like just a product in Brazil. And I dyed my hair inside wearing like bling bling. No, I thought I was the man. I walk on the streets of Brazil and it's like, man, 11 years old, I'm the man on my nose and I do whatever I want, you know? And I started doing everything. When the police catches you, they do two things. If it's a girl, sometimes they can abuse you and they let you go because you're just a minor. If it's a boy, they take you to a forest or a nearby place that's isolated, they just beat the crap out of you, you know, just like they crack you down, you know. And that's what they used to do to me. And from 11 to 12, I lived on the streets. And I stopped wanting to leave the streets when I was 12. When I turned 12, my best friend, my father, he died. He went to steal an old guy. And he was a retired police officer. So he grabbed my best friend and he threw him with his head down in a river and he died. When that happens, I was like, I gotta get out of the streets. I don't want to die here. I don't want to become like my brothers, right? In jail or on the streets. And that's why when I started wondering, I gotta get out of this place. But every Tuesday, Thursday, we used to receive a team, just like you guys. They used to go and hang out, play soccer. They used to sing songs. They used to give us bread and hot chocolate and juice. But in this team, they had foreigners and they had Brazilians. And they used to go to the streets. They had a house, just a shelter, just like this, in a state called Minas Gerais. And every day they would ask me, do you want to get out of the streets? I was like, no. For a year, they just kept asking me, do you want to go to the shelters? I was like, no. I like the streets. I like my freedom. And when I was 12 years old, I accepted. I want to go to this house. And when I went to this house, you got to spend 15 days in this triage house for you to go to a permanent shelter just like this one. So when I arrived in this triage house, every day I used to fight a lot, I used to swear a lot, I didn't respect nobody. I didn't like to take no shower, I didn't like to wear no flip-flops. On the streets, you wear no flip-flops. You stay with bare feet, you know, you didn't respect nobody. I walked like this. And I thought I was the man, you know? And every single day they used to tell me, go take showers. Like, nah, I ain't taking a shower. Just like our kids do now. And I gotta teach them, now it's my job. I'm paying for all my sins. So I gotta teach them. And then tell them to take a shower. No, I ain't taking a shower. They're not used to that, you know? They used to do whatever they want. They're not used to have a shower sometimes, you know? And I was like, nah, not taking a shower. Put your socks on, no. Put your shoes on, nah. Time to sleep, no. You know, I thought I was the man. And for 2 years, before I went to the shelter, every single day I was like, I'm gonna run out of this place. Every day I wanted to run away, and the staff, you know, the house girls, they used to come and they hold me like, don't go, you gotta stay here. You're gonna die on the streets. Like, no, I'm going. But that was just a beautiful blonde girl. She was just a volunteer, just like you guys are volunteering here right now for a couple of days. And you think, man, I'm just here for a couple of days. I can't make a difference. That's why I can tell you today that because of a volunteer, I stayed and my life was changed. Maybe here for a couple of days and maybe God will use you, or you think, okay, my life, I will be able to use my life to change one of these boys or one of these girls' life. Yes, a couple of days you can do that. It's just a beautiful girl. She was from England. She was tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, and every time when they start would hold me, I would punch them. She would just come. She didn't speak no Portuguese, right? And maybe you think, I don't speak no Portuguese. She didn't speak no Portuguese. She knew just some phrase. She would say, you no go, you no leave, you stay here, you no go, me love you. And every time, every day when she would say that, I would just stop. And she would say, you come here, you put your head here. And I would just put my hand there. And she would just sing in English, you know, some beautiful song. I didn't sing nothing she would sing. She would just sing. And I would just calm. I would just calm down. I would just just a peace would come into my heart. And every day I just wanted to go run away from the shelter, and she would just come. You no go, you come back, you stay. Yeah, you. So I would just listen to her. I just fell in love with this girl. And in my book, I call her my angel. And I just. And every time I would be that fighter with this, like, let me go, I want drugs, I want to live with it. And then she would just say, Sidney, and I was like, yeah, she's here. And I just stayed there, you know? And for 15 days, I was able to stay. I went to live in this permanent shelter. The day that I left, one day after, she went home. I have looked for her all my life, and I don't love her in that way anymore, okay? I was a little kid. But I told my wife that God used her life to change mine. We've looked her in the system of the shelter. We've looked for her everywhere so she can hear what happened to my life. We can't find her. That's why I call her my angel. You can become someone that can make a difference in one of these kids here, or maybe somewhere you go. And I lived in the shelter for 2 years. 2 years, didn't want nothing. I didn't trust people because of my past. I didn't trust no man. The guys like this, I didn't allow you to touch me. If you touch me like this, like, what's happening, man? You want to fight me? You want to fight me? I didn't trust nobody. You know? I hated people. I hated life. I hated everything for 2 years. And one day I was just sitting just like you guys right now. And there was a guy, he was telling me, everyone, all the boys from the shelter, you can change your life. You can have a better life. You can have a future. You can go to school and do well. You're not stupid. You're smart. And you can have a great job. You can have a family different than yours. And I was just listening. And I started crying at that moment. And street kids don't cry, right? You can't cry. So I was just trying to hold, because my friends were there. I was just trying to hold. I was like, hey, I can't cry, right? You know, what are they going to think of me? You know? I was just trying to hold my tears. You know? And suddenly I just started crying so bad. And the kids were just like this. And the staff, he told all the kids to leave, and he started talking to me. And he looked me in the eyes and said, you determine your future. You can be better than your father was. You can be better than your brothers was. You can have a brilliant future. You're the one that chooses, and you gotta choose that today. From that day on, something happened. Inside of me, something happened. And I started dreaming. I didn't have no dreams. I started dreaming. I'm gonna learn English, and I'm gonna go to the US. So all the foreigners, just like you guys, we used to receive a lot of teams. And you see some of the boys trying to learn English, be patient with them. Because I was like them. And when we used to receive teams like you guys, everywhere you would go, I would go after you. What's this? What's that? Because I knew in Brazil, if you know English, that can change your life. You can get a better job. You can be somebody. So everywhere when I used to receive foreigners, I was a glue. Everywhere you go, I would go. Me speak English. You speak English to me. Me good. Yeah, very good English. Very good. That's what I used to do. How do you say this? How do you say this? How do you say this? That's what I used to do. And maybe some of these kids are doing the same thing to you. And you investing in their life. With this, speak English. Oh, I don't have talent. I don't have my PhD. Just you speaking English, you're changing someone's life. That's why the great thing about being American, everyone wants to learn English. So almost everywhere you go in the world, you can make a difference. So I started learning English, and from 14 years old to 16, I was like, I'm gonna go to the US. I'm gonna go to high school. And when I was 16, a lady came from the US, and she looked at me, do you want to go to the US? You speak English. Do you want to go to high school? I said, yes. And she said, I'm going to help you. She went back to the US. She went to a travel agency, and she said, I want to bring a foreign exchange student from Brazil. And the guy said, this is how much money you need for the year. And she's like, I don't have that money. And she said, she went home sad. The next day, a business guy that works in the Middle East, an American guy, he showed up in this travel agency. He's like, I'm about to leave to the Middle East. I have a lot of money. I want to have 3 kids from third world country for 1 year in the US. I'm going to pay for everything, and I'm going to give them spare money to spend. And the guy remembered, oh, I have someone in mind. He called this friend of mine, and she was there. Everything set to go. I went to the US. I went to high school. I did everything you can think of. I played soccer for the high school. I went to the proms. I went to the Sadies. I was like the Brazilian boy. They called me the Brazilian boy, right? That was my nickname. Brazilian boy, come here. So everywhere, I was friends with everyone. Cheerleaders and the pop guys, popular guys. Not the different guys. I was just cool with everyone. And then everyone called me like, hey, come here, Brazilian boy. And for me, I grew up in Brazil on the streets, so you don't have different races, right? And there I just saw different groups separate. I was like, man, I ain't doing this. So I was friends with everyone. So everyone just loved to hang out, and I was Brazilian, kind of crazy sometimes. And just imagine this, the best story of the US. I had never seen snow. And people told me, you're gonna see snow. I lived in Michigan.
Oh my God.
Michigan. Hey, coming from Brazil, hot weather, and going to Michigan. I arrived there in the summer. It was all right. It was all cool. When winter came, my first day of school, I was just studying ESL, learning English. I was just there with my teacher. A bunch of foreigners there. Suddenly, I just see something white coming from heaven. And I asked the teacher, I was like, what is that? She's like, that's snow. I was like, so that's what you call the snow? And she's like, yeah, that's snow. I was like, can I go outside? Can I go outside? And you know the high school in the US is kind of like, it's like this, right? You can see everything from the outside. And I just remember going outside and just jumping, man. Just jumping like crazy. I thought it was like playing soccer, like playing jump like this. And I was just happy. And I tried to do snowball and snowman, And guess what I tried to do? I love my mom. So I thought, I'm going to take a special gift to my mom. I'm going to take her a special gift she will never forget. So I did a snowball, and guess what I put it? I put it in my pocket. And I was like, I'm going to stay here for a while. It was like, I had been there for a couple of months already. I'm going to take it back to Brazil. But I didn't know. I grew up in Brazil. I hadn't seen no snow. Okay? So I put the ball in. I was like, I'm going to take it to my mom. My mom is going to love me. It's snow. But what I didn't know is that snow melted, right? I didn't know that. It melted, and I was so sad, so mad. That was the best. I just had great memories from the US. I lived in the US for 4 years. That's when I figured I gotta tell my story all over the world. I gotta tell what happened to my life. And I wanna work with the street kids. I wanna work with child soldiers. We have thousands and thousands of them around the world. I want to work with children that are in prostitution, like in India, Pakistan, in Ukraine, and Romania. Girls that are 6, 7 years old and they're in prostitution, they're being sold. I want to work with those type of people. So I started traveling, telling my story, and doing what we call social work or helping people, right? So anywhere where I could invest time, money, and people, so I started taking teams also. So God has allowed me to go over 20 countries telling my story and telling people in high schools and colleges and people on the streets and people in prostitution place, anywhere that I can get the word out that people can change if they have an opportunity. But for them to have an opportunity, we gotta create that opportunity for them to change. We gotta embrace those people that nobody wants to embrace. We gotta look at those people that nobody wants to look. We gotta love those people that nobody wants to love. We wanna go to those places that nobody wants to go. So I've been to Congo, I've been to Sudan, I've been to Uganda, I've been to Peru, Venezuela, I've been to, if you name it, most of the tough places that I like. Now one of my biggest dreams is to go to Iraq, Iran, those places, and then other places too, like that are just tough places, like Ethiopia, some other places. In 23 days, I'm going to Mozambique. That's my 4th time in Mozambique. I've been to Africa 5 times, so this is gonna be my 6th time. But Mozambique is gonna be my 3rd time. How I met my wife, I got to know her, and she told me when we were just friends, my future husband, he gotta go to Africa and ask me to marry me in Africa. We were going to school in Brazil, so kind of a social work, so like a Christian school that teaches you how to work with people, right? And we met, and we just started hanging out, and she was like, my future husband is gonna have to marry me in Mozambique. We were just friends. When I started liking her, when we started dating, she went to Africa, I went to the United States, and we traveled throughout 31 states, telling my story and just encouraging people to do what you guys are doing right now. And she was in Africa, I was in the United States. And I remember what she told me. And I was like, I gotta go to Africa. I gotta ask her to marry me. So I called her parents in Africa, but the parents spent 18 years in Africa. And I called her parents and say, hey, I want to marry your daughter, and I want to go to Africa. And he said, really? You're a tough guy, huh? So you can do that. If you're gonna come all the way to Africa, you really love my daughter. So it was a surprise birthday party, but it was actually our engagement. So we were dating already, so I planned our engagement. So I went to Mozambique and I asked her to marry me. And we got married. We are loving this place. We're getting ready sometime in the future to go back to Africa, Mozambique. And we're just excited about that. But right now we're here. We're loving this place. We invest in this place. And we're just enjoying to be here right now. With all the hardships, all the hard things, we still love this place. And soon, we'll be going back to Mozambique to do the same thing. Basically what we have here, we're going to take this model and do the same thing in Mozambique, Africa. So if you guys want to visit us. If you guys want to read my story in a piece of paper, I actually have a book. It came out in English in the United States 4 years and a half ago. It came out in Portuguese and it's going to come out in Spanish. But in English, you guys can go to the website and you guys can order that at lulu.com or amazon.com. And you can just put the name Rescue to Tell. Rescue to Tell. Okay, the website is www.rescued in the past, rescuetotell.com. And if you go to lulu.com or amazon.com, you can just put Rescue to Tell. You will find that book in the US. You can buy it as an ebook. It's $9.99. You can buy it as an ebook, or you can buy it and it will arrive in your house. The publishing company, they will send to your house in a couple of days when you order it. All right. God bless you guys. Thank you for everything. And keep doing what you guys are doing. And we wish you guys the best success in life. And knows that everything you have is not just for you, it's for other people to share and help other people. All right?
Thank you.